I mean, they're just an integral part of my performance, you know, from when I started all the way up through to my Olympic campaigns in different boat classes. They're there every day, come rain or shine with you, cycling up and down the bank. Whilst you were doing the mileage, they did it on the bike without them supporting you emotionally, you know, technically, kind of all that, you know, I just wouldn't have been able to get where I got. It's so important to have a really good relationship with your coach, and that spans across all aspects of your life, because especially as an elite athlete, you're kind of having to flex between like life demands as well as obviously the sport, and so they have to understand you, you have to understand them, and it's super important that you kind of trust each other and work together as a team. And especially in my last Olympics, I was in the single, so I was in the boat on my own, so my coach was even more important. Paul Reedy, like, he was there with me for every session, every stroke I took, and he was there, the eyes and ears of, like, he was like my crewmate as well, but he just wasn't in the boat with me. So it was really important that we had a really good relationship and working partnership. I think coaches shouldn't underestimate sometimes the power of their words, and it can just be one little snippet that an athlete will think about for the rest of their career, and it'll propel them forward and ensure they do the right things going forwards. My first ever coach was Paul Stannard when I was on the World Class Start programme that was supported by UK Sport and the National Lottery, and he is now the chief men's coach for the GB team. But he said to me, do the basics well, and that was something I always stuck by through my whole career, and it is very important to do the basics well. We get so caught up in sometimes thinking about the 1%ers, but actually if you're not doing the basics well, there's no point in getting that top 1%. You know, you've got to get the 99% before that. So it always stuck with me. So the power of words from coaches is don't underestimate it. As a coach and athlete relationship, you've got to understand each other and each other's demands outside of the sport as well, and that's one, and understanding the person as a person, not just as an athlete. And that's one thing that my coach Paul Reedy was great at. He was very good at tailoring his coaching to the person and the athlete in front of him, and just asking the question of, like, how are you, not just in terms of performance, as in how have you slept, are you going to train hard, are you going to be able to train hard today. It's about, like, how are you, what's going on in life, because everybody has life stresses, other life demands outside of sport. So if the coach can, use that kind of more personal side, they're going to get more out of the athlete, because the athlete, if they're happier in their personal life or feel supported in there, they'll be able to perform better in their sport.